Hello and welcome back to another video. Today here again on Forza Horizon 5 to take a look at another brand new vehicle just added to this game. This time it's the Mercedes AMG GT Black Series. As ever, to obtain this new vehicle, all you have to do is complete 20 points in this week's festival playlist, which happens to be the summer season. As you can see, I have 23 points from doing the trial, some of the PR stunts, photo challenge, Horizon Open, one of the Horizon stories, and the 2 monthly rivals. Is one of only 2 new vehicles actually available as a prize in the playlist, the other one being the overall prize Nissan Z Formula Drift car. So this is by far, to me, the most exciting free new car in this update, because in autumn, winter, and spring, all the vehicles are actually recycled content from Horizon 4. There are also a few vehicles as prizes in the new Donut Media story modes, but I'm not terribly interested in those, so to me this is still by far the best free new car in this update, and it's great to finally have in the game given how highly requested it's been ever since this game launched pretty much. For me it is super exciting to finally have it in the game, although less so than some other recent additions, as for over a year we've actually been able to drive this monster in Gran Turismo 7, so I have driven it quite a long time ago in a game that possibly handles better than Forza. Anyway, in many ways it may seem very similar to the AMG GTR, which we already have. However, this is much closer to the GT3 car than that. I think it essentially has the engine from that, which is a flat plane crank, I think's the difference, which essentially means it has more power and sounds better. It now has 720 horsepower, which is a huge increase over the 577 in the GTR before it. It does, however, weigh about 100 kilos more than that car, at 1,640. There are no advanced painting options available for this car, but it does come in a variety of quite nice manufacturer colours. There's obviously the Magma Beam Orange that we have from Standard, but there's also the Green Hell Metallic rather than Magno, which I think is what I'm going to put on this. A rather nice blue, a white, a grey, and a black. But yes, I'm going to put on this rather lovely green colour. In terms of upgrades and customization, there's not a lot of options. You'll notice straight away that there's no aero tap. We can't even put Forza Aero on this car, which kind of makes sense because it already has front canards and an adjustable rear wing, which has some pretty cool active aero when you drive along. There is, however, quite an interesting engine swap option. You can put in the 6-litre V12 racing engine, which I believe is from a CLK GTR, but note the price is 900,000 credits to do that. So if you're mad enough to ruin your car, it costs 900,000 credits and only adds 19 horsepower. So yes, that's an option. You can obviously also all-wheel drive swap the car, do all of your usual tyre compounds. I think it's already on semi-slicks, yes it is. You can do tyre widths, bring out your track width, change your wheels, obviously, but everything else is pretty much as you would expect. So, as this car's starting PI is 884, which is actually quite near the top of S1 class, we thought before we went and threw a tune on, we should go and see how competitive it is racing this stock in Horizon Open, and, well, unsurprisingly, it wasn't the fastest. It was incredibly fun to drive, very planted mostly, unless you really pushed it, and had some great racing in that, but yeah, it wasn't really terribly successful in our 3 races there around the Lookout Circuit, the Sierra Verde Sprint, and the Los Jardins Circuit, with the best finishing position actually being a 5th place, and the other 2 races being 6th place finishes. So because, as we kind of expected, it wasn't great stock, we did eventually give in and go and download an S1 class tune from ESV Eclipse, which puts the power up to 818 horsepower, brings the weight down to 1300 kilos, does reduce grip slightly by putting it on rally tyres because that's PI efficient, so it'll be interesting to see how different it is with this tune on. Unsurprisingly, with the tune applied, the car did rather better, although to be honest I preferred how it drove standard. For me, rally tyres on a car this fast is just a little bit not really enough grip for my liking. But yeah, you could definitely feel that power increase and reduction in weight, particularly on the straights. So we only got into the second race of an adventure out of 3, of course, around Plaza Circuit, which wasn't a great start. We finished 7th in that first race, but then in the final race of this adventure, the Grand Pantano Sprint, it was a 4th place finish for the Mercedes, which, although isn't great, was a huge improvement over driving it stock, which we kind of probably should have expected. And as this was only 2 out of the 3 races of the first Horizon Open session, we did do a full set of 3 afterwards. Again, in the first race, we didn't do all that well with a 9th place finish, but it then finished 4th in the subsequent 2 races, finishing off with the Tierra Prospera circuit there. So it seems like it's quite good for being somewhere in the region of 4th place, but not much more than that. So it's kind of like driving a Mercedes Formula 1 car, basically. And that probably is going to do it for a very first look at the AMG GT Black Series here on Forza Horizon 5. Great to finally have this in the game, although it is a slightly overdue addition. It is really good to see this in here, although the rest of the playlist looks like it's kind of downhill from here, although I do look forward to that SL65 and the final week, even if it is a recycled car. This, though, was a lot of fun to drive stock. I think it looks pretty incredible. I'm not quite sure about the front grille. It's available in a variety of very good-looking manufacturer colours, and has some interesting upgrade options. There's not a lot of them, but that engine swap, for example, is quite mad. I've not really seen anything like that, especially not that price in this game. Stock, it was actually surprisingly fun to race online, although, as you would expect, not terribly competitive, but drove nicely and had some great racing with it like that. Tuned was kind of the opposite. It was faster, well, reasonably. It was finishing 4th, was its kind of average finish, if you like. It seemed to finish there most often. That seemed to be where it was at home. So it's not the fastest, but it was reasonable, although personally I really didn't enjoy driving it with that tune. So I think I'm going to revert it to stock and enjoy it as a nice Grand Tourer between, I don't really know what to call this, a supercar or a GT. I suppose a track-focused GT, but I just want to leave it stock as a nice thing to drive, I think. So yeah, great to have it. I don't think I'll be racing it again, but it is a car that I think I will enjoy driving a lot more in this game. For now, though, for a very first look at the AMG GT Black Series, that is going to be all. I won't be doing videos on any other playlist cars because they're all recycled, but there will be videos coming on all of the cars from the new paid car pack very soon, so watch out for those. For now, though, thank you very much for watching, and I will be back with the next video very soon.